Alright, if you're watching this video, it's likely that you're either thinking about selling your house or you've had your house on the market for a while and it didn't sell. Now, it's really important when you're choosing which real estate professional to list your house with that you choose the right agent. Now, I want to guide you through a few simple questions that you can ask. This works in any market, this works at any given time, and it works right here in Farmington. So, number one, you really want to ask your real estate professional about their online presence. If they can't ask you specifics like how are they tracking traffic, how are they optimizing your listing for search engine optimization, for Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, all of those things, if they can't specifically answer those questions, you may be interviewing the wrong real estate agent. Now, as far as what we do, we use Google Analytics, we use Facebook Analytics, we use cash to retarget people with ads. And that's important because 50% of the people who bought a house last year found the house they eventually bought online. So it's important to have an excellent online presence. Second question to ask is, do you invest in a professional real estate photographer? Now, I say the word invest because it is expensive to hire the right professional who's trained specifically for real estate. Now, we use Zia Media Group here locally. It's important that you use a professional photographer. Now, I know this from experience. Before I got into real estate, I was interviewing a real estate agent to list my house. And I said, hey, do you use a professional photographer? And he said, his response was, well, my wife has a DSLR and she is an excellent photographer. Well, I got the photos back and unfortunately, they were lackluster. And we didn't have any showings on that house. So it's important to use a professional real estate photographer. The other thing that's vitally important in this environment with COVID-19 and showing restrictions and open house restrictions is that you have some type of virtual reality display of the house. So another good question is, do you use a 3D image? Can you portray a virtual reality image of the house and give us a floor plan so that we can see flow without seeing multiple houses? We use the best technology in the business concerning 3D tours. Another great question is, how many people are in your database? Now, we didn't hear a lot about database in real estate even just 5 years ago. But now, one of the top real estate professionals in the country has said that your database is your business. So we have over 4,000 people in our database. That means we have their phone number, we have their email, we have them on a drip campaign of some sort. That means they've clicked through on our website, given us their information and raised their hand and said, hey, I want more information on the houses you're selling. And how you work that database is important because we're constantly trying to get people from that curiosity phase of the process to that, hey, I'm buying your house stage of the phase. So how big is your database is important because, of course, every real estate professional that you interview is going to be working extra hard to sell their listings. So how are they doing that? Do they have a database? Can they reach out to them via email? Do they send out a blast email the minute your house hits the market and make sure that everybody is aware of it? It's a great question. Now, here's another question I like to ask. How many hours a week do you prospect for new business? Now, the reason this is an important question is if somebody says, you know, I don't really do that. I put the sign in the yard, I put it on the MLS, and I hit my knees and I pray that it sells. That's not the right real estate professional for you. You need somebody who is proactively looking for buyers for your house, constantly trying to get people from that curiosity phase to that purchase phase. Now, we've had a lot of people comment about when they click on our website, we immediately put a pop-up page on there asking for information. We do that for the benefit of our sellers because if somebody's curious enough to put their information in, they're curious enough to buy your house. So what do we do when we get that information? We call them, we email them, we put them on market updates, we retarget them with ads of your property. So having an aggressive online marketing campaign is incredibly important. And having the hours a week to go ahead and prospect for new buyers is also really important when you pair that with it. Now, this is a question that's a little bit controversial. But Vince Lombardi once said, some of us will do our jobs well, some of us will not, and we'll all be measured by one thing, that's the result. How many houses a year do you sell? Just ask that question. It's an important question. Here's why it's important. I ran the numbers this morning on the last 12 months. There were 180 realtors registered in the San Juan County Board of Realtors who actually sold something last year. There are more who are registered with the board, but there were 180 who actually sold a house. So if you take the number that we sold in the last 12 months, which is 1,067 houses, and divide that by 180, the average realtor in town sells less than 6 houses a year. And I hate to say it, that's not a job, that's a hobby. So your cream of the crop realtors will typically sell 30 a year or so, 30 plus homes a year. So that's a really important question. Am I dealing with somebody who it's a hobby, who it's a side gig, or am I dealing with somebody who's a professional who does this to feed their family and provide for themselves? It's a good question. Now, I also want to point out that our team actually sold 15 times the average number of houses over the last 12 months. We'd love to interview for the job of getting your house sold. What is your average days on market? This is also an excellent question. Some people will try to convince you that, no matter what, you throw a house on the market, it's going to sell within a certain amount of time. The average days on the market over the last 12 months for our board in total was 115 days on market. That means 3.5 months before you sell your house. We cut that in less than half, and our average days on market is 42 days on market. And that includes the big boys, the $600,000, $700,000 houses that tend to sit on the market a little bit longer. So average days on market, that's a really important question. At the end of the day, you really want to make sure that you're interviewing somebody who you jive with, who you can have a good conversation with, whose personality is suited to your personality. The other thing is you want to talk to them about their communication. We actually have a database in the back end of our system, and I hire an assistant full-time who is a licensed realtor who relays feedback, who gathers feedback, whose job is specifically designed to improve your customer experience. We'd love to interview for the job of getting your house sold. I hope this video was helpful. If you aren't in Farmington, New Mexico and would like me to interview somebody for you for free outside of the state, I am a member of the largest referral network in the United States through Keller Williams. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it helps. You guys have a great week.